Hey, welcome to Cosmic Comics. Marvel Premiere Issue 12 opens with Doctor Strange using his Eye of Agamotto to follow his arch-nemesis Baron Mordo through time. First Mordo and then Doctor Strange have read at least a portion of a book written by Cogliostro in the 18th century. The book purportedly tells the secret of how to change the past without endangering one's present existence. As they both travel backwards in time, Strange and Mordo face off against one another, but each finds their powers to be weaker than normal. Mordo claims to have been expecting this and leaves, stating that it marked his destination. Doctor Strange re-enters time now in an attempt to find Mordo. Strange enters into the 18th century Paris, and he soon locates Cogliostro. He attempts to warn Cogliostro about Mordo, but Cogliostro pretty much laughs Doctor Strange off, telling him no man can interfere with his plans. Cogliostro departs, and in a moment of weirdness, Doctor Strange decides to pretend to be Cogliostro and wait for Mordo to show up. Once Mordo arrives, Doctor Strange can't hold up the illusion for more than a few panels. Strange and Mordo revert back to fighting. It culminates when Doctor Strange uses his Eye of Agamotto on Mordo. In a shocking turn of events, Mordo uses his willpower to overcome the power of the Eye. Then a truly strange scene unfolds as someone else arrives. Doctor Strange once again takes on the appearance of Cogliostro, but this time he sees his past self enter. This scene doesn't seem to have much to do with the story besides reinforcing the fact that Cogliostro is manipulating time. Shortly thereafter, Cogliostro returns home and isn't happy to see Doctor Strange still hanging about the place. Doctor Strange gets all uppity and chastises Cogliostro for the way he tinkers in time. He threatens to stop Cogliostro, so Cogliostro goes on the attack. Re-enter Baron Mordo, who sees an opportunity and joins in on the attack. The two of them together take Doctor Strange down. Mordo could have finished Strange off, but instead he takes a moment to rejoice in his newfound villain friendship. He's immediately shot down by Cogliostro, who blasts Mordo hard and quickly informs him that he doesn't take on allies. Right after this, Cogliostro gives us his villainy revelation. The real Cogliostro is currently away fighting Dracula. He tells him that he's really a guy who comes from the 31st century and that his real name is Sise-Neg. He stopped here to write a book as somebody with some panache and name recognition, and Cogliostro fit that bill. Sise-Neg refers to a theory stating that there is only a finite amount of mystical energy in the universe. The theory has been proven true in his time. He explains that in the future, most people use magic every day, so there isn't much to go around anymore. Sise-Neg decided to travel backwards through time, amassing as much mystical energy as possible. He's already gathered so much that this is the reason why Doctor Strange and Mordo and even the Eye of Agamotto can't operate at their full capacity. There isn't enough of the limited resource of mystical energy left, thanks to the mystical energy hog Sise-Neg. But Sise-Neg isn't done. He stopped off to write this book as Cogliostro so that men could someday enjoy his genius and reflect on the fact that one man gathered all the mystical energy and returned to the dawn of creation. Sise-Neg claims that by becoming an all-powerful being at the dawn of creation, he will essentially become God. Mordo hears the news and becomes a groveling troll who can't wait to take off and attempt to prostrate himself before his new god. Doctor Strange rises and regretfully admits that he must take off after Mordo and Sise-Neg. We switch over to Marvel Premiere issue number 14. For all of this issue, Doctor Strange and Mordo are outclassed and in many ways play the part of the shoulder angel and devil to Sise-Neg as he continues to stop in at various past events. The first place he stops is Arthurian England, where Sise-Neg has honed in on a large unknown mass of mystical energy. As a show of power, Sise-Neg creates a dragon to fight the approaching night. Doctor Strange intervenes and saves the life of one Sir Lancelot. Mordo, knowing that Sir Lancelot will eventually lead to the destruction of Camelot, tries to convince Sise-Neg that Strange's compassion is a weakness and that the people would be better ruled by a stern hand. In a flash, Sise-Neg disappears and absorbs all of Merlin's power. Doctor Strange is left to give chase once more. Sise-Neg calls both Strange and Mordo to halt this time. He informs them that his giant glowing head is a result of his newfound power that is shaping him into godhood. He's halted them in time once again to gather a large source of magic which is in the hands of a bunch of dirty sinners. Mordo advocates genocide, while Strange claims Sise-Neg shouldn't murder people without knowing what they are like. Sise-Neg brings the trio down to ground level, and within a moment is threatening to kill people. Retaliation comes in the form of the priests of death who attempt to sear the trio's flesh. Strange throws up the shield of Seraphim, but doesn't have the strength to hold out. He asks Mordo to help out, and the little weasel looks away and refuses to pitch in. The priest used the attack, but Sise-Neg is gonna have none of it, and he proclaims his godhood. Sise-Neg couldn't find anything holy or worthy in the cities, so he burns them into the ground. At the bottom of the page, we see what is presumably Lot and his wife walking away from Sodom and Gomorrah. Before Strange has time to reflect on what has taken place, Sise-Neg pulls him back into the time stream. Sise-Neg makes his final stop in prehistoric times. Mordo gloats that Strange's love of humanity has been deemed a weakness in the eyes of Sise-Neg. Nonetheless, Strange can't help but call out when he sees a large number of half-man, half-ape creatures fleeing. Sise-Neg demands that Strange shut up about humans. Then Strange saw what they were running from. It was the dreaded Shuma-Gorath, the very same entity that was indirectly responsible for the death of Strange's mentor, the Ancient One. Strange charges into battle, but realizes that his powers are so weak that they are non-effective. Strange beseeches Sise-Neg to intervene on the part of the young hominids and not to leave them facing certain death before an inhuman cosmic entity. Sise-Neg agrees not to abandon his roots, despite having risen above them. As Sise-Neg makes the move on Shuma-Gorath, he realizes that it absorbs power in a similar manner to himself. Sise-Neg draws much of Shuma-Gorath's power away without being detected and lulls Shuma-Gorath to sleep. Sise-Neg then forces Shuma-Gorath's slumbering form into another dimension. Sise-Neg then takes a moment for an act of creation. He creates a garden, a haven, for the two apes that survive Shuma-Gorath's attack. Afterwards, he leaves with Strange and Mordo for his journey's end. Mordo, so eager in his begging to be considered, he doesn't even realize that they have left the earth behind. Sise-Neg is rewinding all of existence, with only Strange and Mordo present to bear witness. As everything collapses, Strange and Mordo are left in a pitch-black silence. After a few awkward moments, Sise-Neg speaks, letting them know that upon achieving godhood, he realizes that the universe was already in harmony. The universe and mankind were still imperfect, but Sise-Neg could not find a way to improve upon it, so he recreates the universe. Just to make certain that you caught that, he recreates the universe. Time turns and begins again because of Sise-Neg, who now, as a god, lets it be known that he wants to be referred to as Genesis. The universe explodes outward. Strange and Mordo ride it out like a wave until they are at last deposited back into their own time. Mordo looks shocked. Strange ponders if they just witnessed the second creation of the universe or if it was just the first reoccurrence. The series ends with Dr. Strange turning to the streets below where New Year's is being celebrated by happy, jubilant crowds. Oh, okay. Let's not talk around it. Jehovah, Allah, God, Yahweh, etc., the general God of the Abrahamic faith, whatever name you want to put it under, doesn't get addressed in Thor Annual number 10, wherein we learn the origins of most of mankind's many gods and most of the pantheons. Read the comic and see my video on the origins of the elder gods for more information. By dropping in events such as the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah and a very plausible and strongly alluded to Garden of Eden, even down to the apple that's hanging in the side of the left panel, I think a case can be made that Genesis represents the God of the Abrahamic religions within the Marvel Universe. Many Christians, Muslims, and Jews may not be happy that he doesn't get top billing over other cosmic entities, such as the one above all, But the character of Genesis is definitely in a higher and different class than most of Earth's gods in the context of the Marvel Universe. And let's not forget, he created the universe. I'll revisit the Paradise Garden Sise-Neg created in the third installment of my Serpent Crown series. Thanks for watching. Feel free to hit any of the buttons below. I'm out.